Ladies and gentlemen, time of the month again. MPJ is back with the latest new rock album reviews for 2023. Welcome to my panel, to Dave, to Ian, to Chris, and to Trish. Welcome, gang.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Howdy.
So it's your first time listening. This is what's going to do. There's two bands head to head. We're going to rate them out of 5. Going to say which we would spend our hard money dosh on. Not dosh and money is the same thing, but we're going to spend our hard-earned dosh on. Let's get that right. We're going to rate them out of 5. If they get 23 or more, they automatically get into our very exclusive top 20 albums of the year. If they get into our Hall of Fame, if they get more than 20, they could get a wild pick into our top 20 albums of the year. Who knows? We will find out. So today we have Apotheus and their album Ergo Atlas, and Stonemiller Inc. with Welcome to the Show. Okay, let's start with you then, Trish. Apotheus, Ergo Atlas. What did you think?
So this was a new band to me in the melodic, darker metal music, along the likes of Royal Thunder, Black Orchid Empire, and White Raven Down. I listened to the album 3 times in a row, as there was something I couldn't quite put my finger on as to why I really wanted it to grab me, but it just wasn't. And I felt I wasn't judging it properly, and that there was more to this album than maybe I was appreciating. So I gave it one more go and notched the sound up on my headphones, and that was it. This album needs to be played loud. With a great opener with shape and geometry, it's full-on relentless in its genre. Then beginning of Unification project is hauntingly good, building to a crescendo kicking in at the chorus. There is a bit of growler on the album with the track Ergo Bellum, plus a few others, but it doesn't overpower it or take away from these tracks or this album.
Dave, Ergo Atlas, Apotheus. Your cup of tea?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. It's. I mean, musically, it's fine. It's really, really good. They're good at what they do. Vocally, fairly strong. You know, if you're into this sort of thing, you will really, really enjoy it. It's just not my sort of thing at all. I just couldn't. Like Trish said, I couldn't focus on it. I couldn't get it to grab me at all. I tried several times. I didn't try listening to it really loud. I suppose I could give that a go. But yeah, there was just nothing about it that sort of grabbed me. And to be honest with you, I found it boring a lot of the time. I'd put it on and my head would wander and I'd be thinking about something else. And then before I'd know it, the album had finished and I couldn't even remember what it was I was listening to. But as I say, it's just not my thing. If you're into this, I think you'll really, really enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with the album per se. It's just not my sort of taste.
Ian, anything for you, my friend?
Yeah, definitely. It was a good, honest metal. Good, honest storytelling metal. I absolutely agree with Trish. Again, this was one of the albums that I just listened to. It was just walking around the deck, headphones on, loud. Oh my good Lord. This is kind of picks you up, gives you a shoulder rub. If you've ever had one of Chris's back-breaking hugs that sorts you out, this album is Chris hug personified. Absolutely. If you haven't got a Chris but you want a Chris hug, put this album on. I found it mellow and beautiful and energizing and just renewing, invigorating. So things like the March to Redemption. That was beautiful, mellow, and lovely. And then you got the reunion and regenesis, and absolutely, that's what it does. Gives you energy and life. It was, just fantastic. This is an album. These aren't individual songs. This is an album, and I think a lot of albums are the sum of their component parts. Sorry, a lot of albums are just the component parts collectively. This is the sum of its component parts. So you're really going to get the best of it when you can get your headphones on, get the volume up, and listen to it in its entirety. It's kind of like listening to a regular song and turning it off after 45 seconds. Otherwise, you haven't listened to everything that it beholds. And it's just it's a modern day masterpiece, I think. It's in terms of what it gives. I think as entire albums go, this was the second best choice we've listened to this month. But it, again, that's not taking anything away from just how great this is.
Well, mate, if you can come and give me a big bear hug and get rid of my head cold, I appreciate it, Chris. In the meantime, what do you think of Ergo Atlas?
So I need to cut this. I need to break this into two halves. Musically, brilliant. Love the instrumentals, the drums, the music, absolutely fine. Lyrically, there is too much growler in this for me, and I think this is one of those things where I wax and wane with it, because there are times when I quite like that sort of music, and there are times when it just doesn't work. And this month, or the last couple of months, this has not been the time for me to listen to this sort of music. Even in I've got better headphones now and more enclosed, and I can put the volume louder. Just didn't work for me. This I listened to it a couple of times, struggled through it the second time, wanted to turn it off after halfway through. There are a couple of good songs in there, regardless of the growler, but it just, for me, this time, at this point, right now, just didn't work. Wasn't happy with it at all. I couldn't listen to it a third time. I considered it, and I just, no.
Yeah, there is, you can liken them, and Trish mentioned the likes of Black Orchid and White Raven Down and stuff. And there's a line between doom metal and melodic rock, and for me, this more towards that doom metal kind of side of things, particularly with the growler. I'm not a fan of growler, and yet there were moments and times where it did push itself into more that melodic rock kind of routine. And so it was a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde scenario for me. So it was half and half. I did enjoy the album, yes. I wanted it to do more. I felt it could do more. And it never quite delivered up there to some of the melodic rock bands that we have absolutely loved this much. And it erred on that side of doom metal too much for me. But it was a solid album, really, I said moments of pure genius in there. It just didn't move up a gear for me in the way that similar sort of bands for me have done this year. But anyway, right, okay, we move on. Stonemiller, Stonemiller Inc., welcome to the show. Dave, let's start with you, my friend. A bit of Stonemiller Inc. Have you come across them before, my friend? You're on mute. Boo, hiss. Join the mood club.
Yeah, I'm bound to happen sooner rather than later. I haven't actually heard of these at all. But I did quite enjoy this. It's it's good solid album, good hard rock, some great guitar work. The one problem I did have with it though was vocally. At first I didn't find it too bad, first couple of listens, but then I just found the more I listened to it, the more his vocals begin to grate on me for some reason, and I'm not 100% certain why. It's just something tonally about it that it just doesn't really sit that well. But I mean, overall it's not too bad. I would listen to it again, but I think, as I say, vocally, because there's something there that just doesn't sit right, it's not one that I would choose to go back to that often, I don't think, which is a shame, because other than that, it's really good.
Ian, was this also a masterpiece for you?
You're on mute, Nigel.
Ian, was this also a masterpiece for you, my friend? Good boy.
What? This no. It's not a masterpiece. It's classic American rock. It's been done lots. We have at least 2 or 3 conversations about this each podcast. I think there's so many bands just doing this sort of thing. They're not bad. I agree with Dave. They're quite good at times, but there's nothing stand out. And pretty much it's an average classic American rock album. I did also find the lyrics to the lyricist to be quite vocalist. That's the word I'm looking for. To be tiresome, I think is the word I'd use. It's becomes a little bit repetitive and draining, and you're like, I want to like you, but I'm really struggling, and the more it goes on, I'm struggling more, and it wasn't bad, just it was average, nothing stand out. That's it, really.
No, you're right. Now, talking about average and doesn't stand out very often, and I put myself off mute. Talking about average and not standing out, Chris.
Gee, thanks. Yeah, I kind of agree with both Dave and Ian here. Decent rhythm, decent energy, classic rock. The vocalist just kind of, sandpaper to your eardrums just a little bit. Very middle of the road, quite generic, but the vocalist brings it down a little bit for the wrong reasons. So yeah, it's not great, but it wasn't bad. It's just the way it goes.
Uh-oh, Trish.
Oh, Trish looks angry with me.
Trish. Trish, you're gonna buck the trend, Trish.
We love you, Trish. We love you.
I think we all know what's coming here, don't we?
Pretty much.
I mean, come on. I really like the opening track, The Face I Reflect. It engages you into the rest of the album and gives you a taste of what's to come. And what is to come is pure German hard rock, full of bangers galore, like Die Young, Broken, and I absolutely loved Revolution, Crying with the Wolves. This album is a bloody good show, and I was welcome to join it, Stonemiller Inc. So thank you for hitting my rock sweet spot.
Right, well, I'm going to tend to agree with the boys, I'm afraid. It was solid. It was a solid American AOR rock music. It was well produced. It was well done. I've heard it all before. But did I enjoy it? Yes. Would I kind of go with if it put it on? Yes. It's solid. It was a solidly good album, but that was it. There was nothing that was standout for me. But I enjoyed it. It was all right. It was a bit of really solid AOR music. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're coming from on that one. So, all right. Well, this could be a bit of a battle. Let's get our ratings then. Trish, Apotheus.
4.
Dave.
2.
Ian.
Apotheus got 4 from me.
Chris.
It's the wrong time of the year, 1.5.
Oh,
I know, right? I feel harsh saying. I will qualify it by saying I feel harsh saying it, but this just didn't hit me right now.
Hey.
It's just not for me right now.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back to a 3.5. So we've got 5, 9, 13, 15. Pretty solid score. Pretty solid score. Stonemiller. Dave.
3.
Ian.
Yeah, 3.
Chris.
3 as well.
Trish.
No, I haven't got one out for a long time. So 5.
5.
Hey!
I wasn't quite alongside the boys. I give it a 3.5. So there we are. So we're looking at 9, 12.5, 17.5. Pretty solid score. I would go for Stonemiller over Apotheus, only because I've got very similar bands in my playlist and I would continually benchmark them. Trish would also go for Stonemiller. Dave would also go for Stonemiller. Chris would also go for Stonemiller, and Ian would go for Apotheus. So there we go. Stonemiller wins the Battle of the Bands. Congratulations to them. Nobody made a Hall of Fame, but still pretty solid scores. Well done. They're solidly good albums. Right, okay. If you like what you heard, please hit the like and subscribe button. You know you want to. Give us some comments. Do you agree or disagree with our reviews? What did you think of these albums? And thank you very much to my crew, to Trish, to Dave, to Ian, and to Chris. Thank you very much, everybody. And keep on rocking out there. And apologies for all the mutes with my cold. I do apologise again. But we got through it. And next month is our top 20 albums of the year. And that is going to prove super exciting. Anyway, goodbye for now. God bless. Keep on rocking. Keep safe. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye all.